This video, what we're going to go through is one of the things that most CEOs think that it's going to be one bad foul swoop that's going to cost them everything in their business. There's like a saying, it's death by 1,000 cuts. One missed target, one burnt out salesperson, silent, I will get to it later, which is what costs the business the most amount of money. If you're a CEO right now, pay close attention. This is the death by 1,000 cuts inside your business that if you don't take control in, it's going to cost you millions. If your team is struggling to close deals, you can't blame them for that. And it's not because you can blame them for the factor that they don't know what to do. Because the thing is that ultimately, you have to take radical ownership as the offer owner and as the sales director in a business to take control of what's going on with your team. You don't need better scripts. You don't need like a new fancy system that comes into the business. You definitely cannot blame the economy or the leads for the reason why your team is not performing. This is where most people get it wrong because they think that they're going to hire a new marketing manager or hire a new SMA agency or whatever it is. And they think magically all these leads are going to come to the system, but they still have the same problem. So this is where we need to fix those systems from the root. Most business owners and most owners who don't know how to manage a sales team, they get stuck because you don't rise to the level of your ambition, you rise to the level of what your systems can get you to. Andy Grove talked about it in his book, High Output Management. He spoke about a manager's output is the output of their organization plus the output of the organization they influence. So my name's Adnan, and over the past 6 years, I've built and scaled multiple sales teams and have been a part of tens of millions of dollars worth of high ticket sales, and personally been a part of over $27 million in sales over the past couple of years. I've been able to be a part of engineering full ecosystems and sales cycles between businesses in Australia and the US. I've mentored closers who went from 0 to 50K months through systems and processes, not hype. I learned this through sitting in a business that working. I've been there when the safety net wasn't there. The market wasn't perfect. We were just running on pure adrenaline. The fact of that, we just knew that we had a burning desire to make this thing work. Most CEOs unknowingly sabotage their own growth. They lose because they build their business on sandcastles. They build a sales team on a factor of wish and hopes and dreams. They hire based on gut feel or a thriving passion, and not for engineering their business for traits. They mistake popularity as a culture when truly it's the standard that you set in the business is what people gravitate towards. Strong organizations, strong offers, and the strongest businesses I've been in, they don't improvise scalability. What they do is they engineer it into the business from day one. This blueprint, this isn't for everybody. This is for the CEO who understands culture isn't built on marketing. It's built in the invisible movements day to day that nobody actually sees, but drives results the next day. If you're looking at an A player and you want to build your business to an A player, you need to have gravity. And not gravity in your marketing, gravity in the leadership that you can provide a home for a team member who's an A player that's going to feel safe, and they know that every single day they'll show up and they will carry the flag for you while you deliver the mission. Because this is where, as a CEO, your word creates the orbit and your system sustains the universe within the business. So if you have the right processes, you're going to absolutely kill it. So stay tuned, keep watching, and we're going to get into exactly the 5-step process that you're going to follow. So what you're going to get today, you're going to get authority systems forged from real world execution. You're going to get pain point clarity, why most leaders unintentionally pause their own sales plateaus. What you're going to realize that great closers aren't born, they are built inside high performance teams. And then you're going to know exactly what proof is without bragging. What I mean by this is outcomes are built through deliberate architecture rather than outcomes built from hoping and praying. And then at the end, you're going to have a process that you can follow, and you're going to have a next step that you can follow through on. Zero pressure, but it's going to allow you to know what you're going to be able to do and what the next step could look like for you if you want it. This is the 5-step sales blueprint to building an elite sales force. So let's dive in. Step number 1, as a CEO, the first thing we want to do is how do we hire the business for traits and engineer for traits, not engineering the business for hope and praying. Again, and we can't have that. That is unacceptable. And this is where we want to focus on how do we engineer the business in your hiring system. If you don't have a proper hiring system where you can smoothly transition people through your business with a low touch process that you can vet them, then there's something wrong with your system because it's going to require too many people. It's going to require too much of your attention, and it's taking you away from your genius zone. And again, that is unacceptable. First thing you want to do is do not hire for charisma, hire for capability. So what that means is elite closer is the factor of emotional control under fire. They are able to have immense resilience through any circumstance because their job is to solve problems, and they are there to make sure that your life is way easier to get to the outcome of the business and the goals. The factor of how coachable they are is the first part, but the second part is when they are coachable, how quickly do they actually implement what they've been taught? If the feedback loop is going to take 3 weeks for something to happen, that is way too short. And the thing is though, your turnaround time is just going to equate to 3 weeks of wasted ad spend, wasted space, and that's money left on the table. That again, unacceptable. You want to run heavy role play interviews. What this means is you want to have the closer on the other side that you're hiring be able to take you from initial opening of a call all the way to consequence phase plus a mini pitch, do mid-interview corrections and adaptability. So in the middle of the interview, you want to be able to throw them some curveballs, ask them a couple questions that might be out of the blue and see how they adapt to the factor of you're not following a normal interview process, you're following something that they don't know where you're going, so you're not as predictable. We want to filter for integrity, we want to filter for ambition. We don't want to filter just for experience, because when you filter just for experience, what happens is you get this amazing resume and then you're really disappointed with the factor that this resume isn't willing to fight for the ambition. They're not willing to do the hard yards. They're not willing to get a little bit more humbled at the beginning because they have all this experience. So make sure when you're hiring for somebody, don't just hire for the traits of experience, hire for the factor of characteristics of a successful closer and salesperson. And if they can't buy into you and they can't look at you on the other side of the table and go, I'm willing to go to war for this person, this man, this woman, then I'm sorry to tell you something, that you're not going to hire A players, you're not going to get the right people in your team, you're not going to have the right systems and processes because they can't buy into you and they don't have the conviction in you. This is not just your scripts, this is you following a proper system, proper process. So what that means is without emotional mastery, objections are going to multiply at the end of the call because the closer doesn't have enough leverage. So an elite team, an elite sales team of SDRs and AEs, they must build trust immediately. This is again where it falls in your marketing. They must extract the real consequences, not surface level pain. They must disqualify heavily misaligned prospects early. And again, that is from your systems. That is from your pre-call sequences, your pre-call processes to vet your prospect before they jump on the call. Then from there, they need to prescribe only after an accurate diagnosis. What's really important is that you need to have a sales process which is going to neutralize perceived risks before they arise in a prospect and in new people in your team. When your team is trained on rigid sales scripts, when they're trained on processes that are so strict that they can't think, it allows zero thinking spaces. Use what we call as the commander's intent to get the outcome. And what I mean by the commander's intent is when you build a good team, you give them a direction, they will do everything possible to get to that direction. And that's how you build a free thinking team that you know you can step away from, and they will continue to get the goal without having to be babied all the time. Step number 3. This is where we need to create relentless feedback loops, and the feedback loops need to be incredibly tight. Feedback loops need to be so tight that sales rep is under consistent evaluation to make sure that they can grow at the best level, and you can grow your team at the best level with a lot more consistency. And again, data speaks the loudest. Closer the feedback loop is to you and the sales reps and how involved you are in that process and understanding the data and what the outcome is the moment, the steeper the growth curve will be for you and the faster you'll be able to scale, because you're going to have a tighter moving team and everybody is moving in synchronicity. Try to correct actions, not identities. So you need to correct actions here. You need to correct the action that someone takes, because the thing is though, people often operate the best when they are feeling their best and they're feeling the most secure and confident in themselves. Step number 4. So this is enforce standards with radical clarity and speed. What you tolerate is what you advertise. So elite teams do not manage emotion, they manage execution. So this is where you need to have non-negotiable KPIs. You need to have daily calls, you need to have show rates tracked, you need to have close rate tracks, you need to have everything tracked to ensure that at the end there's an outcome. Every delayed correction erodes culture. Once the culture is eroded, this means that the team are going to be unhappy, destabilized, and you're not going to have any predictability in the system. Step number 5. Build a mission-driven identity, not just a remote sales team. So this is where remote sales teams are often treated like they're just this random spread dispersed place, and the meaning of the work actually loses significance. In the organization I'm in right now, where I run a sales team at Ecom Capital, what we do is we have every piece of daily work tied to real outcomes. Building an elite remote closing team or remote sales team is not easy. It is demanding. And sometimes as a business owner, it's just not your genius zone. It's not where you feel at best, and it's not somewhere where you feel like you want to be sitting in your sales team. Do not hire your top producer, because that takes direction away from them. And do not try to promote your top producer to a sales manager position, because what that does is dilutes their brain. They don't know what to focus on. You want them driving revenue as much as possible, because that is what's going to make you the most money. Systems don't break, people do. So if you build the right systems, you're going to have the right structures. So now you have a playbook. You have 5 steps that are tangible that you can implement. If you want to take this, run with it. Make sure you implement it immediately, because it's going to give you the tightest feedback loop. And again, building the ecosystem early is going to allow you to have the best growth as you grow your team. If you like this video, like, subscribe. And if you need any support with your sales team, or you're looking to build a sales team, feel free to shoot me a message, and we'll see you soon. Thanks so much.